May our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us. Amen. And they asked him, saying, Why do the scribes say that Eliyahu has to come first? And he said to them, Eliyahu, indeed, having come first, restores all matters. And how has it been written concerning the son of Adam, that he is to suffer much and be despised? But I say to you that even Eliyahu has come, and they did to him whatever they hoped, as it has been written of him. And coming to the taught ones, he saw a large crowd around them, and scribes disputing with them. And immediately when all the crowd saw him, they were greatly astonished, and running near, greeted him. And he asked the scribes, What are you disputing with them? And one of the crowd answering said, Teacher, I brought you my son, who has a dumb spirit, and wherever he seizes him, he throws him down, and he foams at the mouth and gnashes his teeth, and he wastes away. And I spoke to your taught ones that they should cast him out, but they were not able. And he answered him and said, O unbelieving generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him to me. So they brought him to him. And when he saw him, immediately the spirit threw him into convulsions, and falling on the ground, he rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And he asked his father, How long has it been like this? And he said, From childhood. And often he has thrown him both into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if it is at all possible for you, have compassion on us and help us. And Yahushua said to him, If you are able to believe, all is possible to him who believes. And immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, I believe, Master, help my unbelief. And when Yahushua saw that, that's beautiful in facts. I mean, I believe, Master, help my unbelief. Amen. And when Yahushua saw that a crowd came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to him, You deaf and dumb spirit, I order you, come out of him, and never again enter into him. And crying out and convulsing him much, it came out of him, and he became as one dead, so that many said that he was dead. But Yahushua, taking him by the hand, lifted him up, and he arose. And when he came into a house, his taught ones asked him separately, Why were we unable to cast him out? And he said to them, It is impossible for this kind to come out except through prayer and fasting. Amen. And going from there, they passed it through Galilee, and he did not hope anyone to know, for he was teaching his taught ones, and said to them, The son of Adam is being delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And having been killed, he shall rise the third day. But they did not understand the word, and they were afraid to ask him. And they came to Capharnaum, and being in the house, he asked them, What was it you disputed among yourselves on the way? And they were silent, for on the way they had disputed with one another, who was the greatest. And sitting down, he called the 12, and said to them, If anyone hopes to be first, he shall be last of all, and servant of all. And he took a little child, and set him in their midst, and taking him in his arms, he said to them, Whoever receives one of such little children in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but the one who sent me. Amen. And Yohanan said to him, Teacher, we saw someone who does not follow us, casting out demons in your name, and we forbade him because he does not follow us. And Yahushua said, Do not forbid him, for no one who works a miracle in my name is able to readily speak evil of me. Do not forbid him, for no one who works a miracle in my name is able to readily speak evil of me. For he who is not against us is for us. For whoever gives you a cup of water to drink in my name, because you are a Messiah, truly I say to you, he shall by no means lose his reward. And whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it is better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck, and he were thrown into the sea. And if your hand makes you stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life crippled than having two hands to go into Gehenna, into the unquenchable fire, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. Where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. And if your foot makes you stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life crippled than having 2 feet to be thrown into Gehenna, into the unquenchable fire, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. And if your eye makes you stumble, pluck it out. It is better for you to enter into the reign of Elohim with 1 eye than having 2 eyes to be thrown into the fire of Gehenna, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. For everyone shall be seasoned with fire, and every offering shall be seasoned with salt. Salt is good, but if the salt becomes tasteless, how shall you season it? Have salt in yourselves, and be at peace among one another. Amen. And rising up from there, he came into the borders of Yehuda by the other side of the Yarden, and crowds gathered to him again And as he usually did, he was teaching them again. And Pharisees came and asked him, "Is it right for a man to put away his wife?" trying him. And he answering said to them, "What did Moshe command you?" And they said, "Moshe allowed a man to write a certificate of divorce and to put her away." And Yahushua said to them, "Because of the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this command. However, from the beginning of the creation, Elohim made them male and female. For this cause, a man shall leave his father. For this cause, a man," he brought it back to the beginning of perfection. "However, from the beginning of the creation, Elohim made them male and female. For this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, so that they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what Elohim has joined together, let man not separate." And in the house, his taught ones asked him about this again. And he said to them, Whoever puts away his wife and marries another, commits adultery against her. And if a woman puts away her husband and marries another, she commits adultery. And they were bringing little children for him to touch them. But the taught ones were rebuking those who were bringing them. And when Yahushua saw it, he was much displeased and said to them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the reign of Elohim. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the reign of Elohim as a little child shall certainly not enter into it." And taking them up in his arms, laying his hands on them, he blessed them. And as he was setting out on the way, one came running and knelt before him and asked him, "Good teacher, what shall I do to inherit everlasting life?" And Yahushua said to him, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except one Elohim. You know the commands: do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not bear false witness, do not rob, respect your father and your mother." And he answering said to him, "Teacher, all these I have watched over from my youth." And Yahushua, looking at him, loved him and said to him, "One matter you lack. Go sell all you possess and give to the poor, and you shall have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me." Taking up the stake, but he, being sad at this word, went away grieved, for he had many possessions. And Yahushua, looking around, said to his taught ones, How hard it is for those who have money to enter into the reign of Elohim." And the taught ones were astonished at his words. And Yahushua, responding, said to them again, "Children, how hard it is for those who trust in riches to enter into the reign of Elohim. It is easier for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the reign of Elohim." For sure. And they were immeasurably astonished, saying among themselves, "Who then is able to be saved?" And looking at them, Yahushua said, "With men it is impossible, but not with Elohim, for with Elohim all is possible." And Kepha began to say to him, "See, we have left all, and we have followed you." Yahushua said, "Truly I say to you, there is no one who has left house or brothers or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for the sake of me and the good news, who shall not receive 100-fold now in this time, houses and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and lands with persecutions, and in the age to come everlasting life. But many who are first shall be last, and the last first." And they were on the way going up to Jerusalem, and Yahushua was going before them, and they were astonished, and those who followed were afraid. And again he took the 12 aside and began to say to them what was about to befall him. "See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the son of Adam shall be delivered to the chief priests and to the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death and shall deliver him to the nations, and they shall mock him and flog him and spit on him and kill him. And the third day he shall rise again." And Jacob and Yohanan, the sons of Zebediah, came up to him, saying, "Teacher, we hope that you would do for us." Saying, "Teacher, we hope that you would do for us whatever we ask." And he said to them, "What do you hope me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to be seated in your esteem, one on your right and the other on your left." But Yahushua said to them, "You do not know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, and be immersed with the immersion that I am immersed with?" This is serious, bro. And they said to him, "We are able." And Yahushua said to them, "You shall indeed drink the cup that I drink, and with the immersion I am immersed with, you shall be immersed. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." And when the 10 heard it, they began to be sorely displeased with Jacob and Yohanan. And Yahushua, calling them near, said to them, You know that those who think to rule the nations are masters over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it is not so among you. But whoever hopes to become great among you shall be your servant.